In a further attack on the freedom fighting of WikiLeaks, PayPal has now joined the struggle to keep government corruption and unethical business practices secret. PayPal has now cut off WikiLeaks and Julian Assange their service so that you can no longer use their services to donate to WikiLeaks and keep governments open and supposedly somehow honest. PayPal has made a blog post claiming that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks has broken the terms of service. Now they claim that he used the service to collect money for an illegal activity, or he was promoting an illegal activity. Media freedom advocates, Reporters Without Borders, called this move an absolute attack on freedom of speech. The opinion is considered to be correct. It's obvious now that PayPal is now just a pathetic little lackey of those who would keep crimes, murders, illegal actions covered up from public knowledge. I think PayPal should now be acknowledged for the fascism-supporting garbage that they are. Now on to China. According to the cables that were released from WikiLeaks, the US government believes that a single member of the Chinese Politburo was responsible for the hacking of Google earlier this year. There was, as you'll remember, back in January, Google said that they were being massively attacked by people stationed in China. They, of course, at the time, I, like many people, didn't really believe them or thought that they were fabricating it, because they pulled the Google service of China, complaining about that China wasn't allowing freedom of speech and that they were censoring everything, which, like I said, I, like many people, thought it was a completely hypocritical move, considering that Google agreed to put filters on their search engine to block out criticisms of the Chinese government in order to do business there. Google agreed to do them. So naturally we kind of thought they were just completely full of it, and this had more to do with the US power play against China and using Google to do so. It's claimed that a single member of the Politburo was offended because he saw his name in like a bunch of criticisms. And to be perfectly honest, I don't really believe that that's the case. I think given everything that capitalist China is guilty of, one criticism of one guy is really nothing. It's petty, it's completely unimportant. I don't believe this to be the case at all, given all the real legitimate criticisms of China there actually is. I think this statement is probably untrue. The document names an unnamed source that confirms this to be true, although personally I would like to see the name of the source. Another reason was listed for the hacking, and one that I personally believe is probably the real reason. China has expressed a lot of concern over Google Earth and its taking pictures of China. Now, this seems very much more likely. The Chinese government is very protective of its land and wishes to keep its secrets like everybody else. Now, this is probably the real reason, in my opinion. I mean, China is as protective of its land and any secrets it wishes to hide, just as much as Dick Cheney was concerned about his land and wanting to keep it hidden when he made Google erase his house from Google Earth. Now let me get something clear. I am not supporting the government of China. I am not defending the government of China. I do not like the Chinese government. It's completely revisionist, completely fascist, and it's a goddamn capitalist country. But I have to say this because there's too many idiots out there that see the word Maoist and automatically think that means the government of China. So, just for clarity's sake, I don't support them. I just am going to be fair and just not assume the absolute worst about everyone and everything. Now moving to Mexico. In WikiLeaks cables, it's now been revealed that the US government doesn't believe the Mexican military is capable of dealing with what they call a sophisticated drug cartel movement. In other words, the U.S. government just doesn't believe the Mexican government is capable of ending the drug wars. Here are some excerpts from the cables. The military was not trained to patrol the streets or carry out law enforcement operations. It does not have the authority to collect and introduce evidence into the judicial system. The arrests skyrocketed. Prosecutions remained flat, and both the military and public have become increasingly frustrated. Prosecution rates for organized crime-related offenses are dismal. 2% of those detained are brought to trial. This information and much more has been very highly critical of the Mexican government, and it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes in the future. Now, before I go, I just want to let you, the Malice Rebel News audience, know that I will be keeping up with the WikiLeaks cable releases and will be bringing you as much information as I can. Seemingly, I've got about 3 videos out of this so far. So when I get a bunch of stuff together, I'll make a new video and I'll try to get out to you as much information as possible. So keep watching the Malice Rebel News and I'll give you a lot more information on the WikiLeaks cables.